you were taught dogs were impure and black dogs were evil. Is that true?
I mean, I was taught older tradition, part of that tradition, and you have to differentiate between the way a scholar is taught the jurist, because the jurist is taught everything. Normal Muslim laity grow up with certain cultural biases that could be anchored in part of the tradition, the Islamic tradition, or could just simply be just a part of the culture. So, what growing up in the Middle East, there is definitely a cultural orientation that I was very aware of and learned very early on, that considers dogs to be impure, their saliva particularly. And in fact, according to that school of thought, which usually correlates with the Wahhabi school of thought, the Saudi Wahhabi school of thought, is that you should not own dogs unless for hunting or for guard as protection, hunting, protection, or farming. Otherwise, you do not have an excuse to own a dog. Now, you won't find anything in the Islamic tradition, no reports, no narratives that tells you to treat dogs cruelly. That doesn't exist. And you're taught from early on that even if you can't own dogs, you have to treat them with mercy and that it's a sin to hurt any animal, not just dogs, but including dogs. Nevertheless, culturally, and I'm not talking about theology now, I've seen a lot of neglect towards street animals in Muslim countries. Children are often not sufficiently sensitized that these animals must be taken care of, and so it's not unusual to go to a neighborhood and find children chasing the dog or pelting dogs with little stones or something like that. In a country like Egypt, the streets are full with street dogs and cats as well. And it's quite unfortunate because the religion itself, regardless of whether you can own them or not, that's a separate issue, it emphasizes kindness and mercy towards animals so heavily that regardless of your good deeds as a pious Muslim, if you torment an animal, that is sufficient to damn your soul. And these are not controversial points. This is something that you learn in all seminaries, in all schools of theology. So it's a little bit of a disconnect to see cruelty towards animals when the theology, at least, makes it very clear that you could either damn your soul by hurting an animal or save your soul by being kind to an animal. So yeah.